Making the decisions that are shaping how companies impact the world. In each episode, we sit down with the thought leaders who are proving that building successful businesses and also building a better future don't have to be in conflict. I'm your host, Jeff Davis, co-founder of Circulins, which is one of the fastest growing digital product passport companies in the world. And our special guest today is Jen Henderson, who is the Senior Director of Supply Chain at Marleylilly, or as she's known worldwide, Jen Hen. But welcome.
Thank you.
Um,
Thanks
Great to
for
have you
having me.
here. Yeah, awesome. Well, leadership today isn't just about performance, it's about responsibility. So let's get into it. What would you say was your very first sort of like, oh wow, I see a problem kind of moment as far as like maybe environmental concerns?
I think that it's it's more of small moments that happen. You know,
Okay.
kind of over the years, I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I think you start to see things over time. And, as the globe changes and as we change as consumers, you start to realize, you know, there's some things that we should probably be doing differently. And I think it was kind of just little things over time that kind of led me to kind of believe like, oh, this is a thing. I think, sustainability has become like a catchphrase, and people are using it to market and to also do good things. But we were doing that back in the day and we weren't calling it sustainability. We were calling it continuous improvement and,
Mm,
how to improve things in the supply chain. So I think we were doing things to impact and improve sustainability before it was a word, before it was a phrase,
yeah.
catchphrase.
Right, yeah, it is kind of like used like almost like a catchphrase these days. What's something about sustainability that you think like an outsider might totally misunderstand?
I think you think of sustainability as, eco-friendly and it seems very daunting, or maybe it seems bigger when it can be just really little things and can go all the way back to the design process and how you do your packaging. It doesn't have to be this massive initiative for your company or really expensive. It can be
Hmm.
something really small, and it's not as daunting as it appears to be.
And those little small things add up, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I
Yeah.
think as companies that import, thousands of products or hundreds of thousands of products, you know,
Mhm.
small, minute changes can make such a big difference.
Right.
Everybody should recycle and everybody should do their part. And as a family, you can do that. But when companies do it, it makes such a big impact, just
Mm.
those little small steps that you can take. So it's not as big or as massive as it may seem to be.
And sometimes as a big company with hundreds of thousands of products, when you have to make some of those trade-offs between profit and planet, what is that like sometimes when you're having to make those hard?
Well, I think that, looking at those things in a different way, as I mean, it can be challenging, right? You want to make sure that your company is healthy and strong and resilient, especially when, the economy is changing and global factors are changing. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I think that there are things that you can do within the supply chain that really don't cost money, that can
Mm.
save money as far as, reducing waste and how you manage returns. Those are things that affect
Yeah.
sustainability. And so you don't have to look at it like it's going to cost me a lot of money. It's like I can probably make process improvements or walk out onto my floor and take one area and make an improvement that's going to help me and make more money for me and make an impact on the environment in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you elaborate on some of the different ways you've seen sustainability actually be a good return on investment or unlock innovation in ways that people didn't expect or any of that?
I mean, I think, for us, the way that we've we've managed our inventory and our forecasting accuracy, reducing inventory or reducing the amount of containers that we bring in, all that, reduces the amount of fuel and emissions and, just doing these small things, which improved our operations, right? We want to have, optimal inventory. We don't want to have excess inventory. We don't want to have a lot of discounted inventory or defective inventory because that costs us money. So by improving our forecast accuracy and improving our supply chain partners, ensuring that we have optimum efficiencies within the supply chain as far as transportation and how we consolidate, it's improved our operation tremendously, and it's little things like that that I see from a 50,000-foot view have
Mhm.
helped with sustainability.
Yeah. Like based off of your all the years of experience that you've had doing this, what's one bold move that you wish more companies would make?
I wish every CEO would walk their floor and walk the
Mm.
footprint and see their operation. I mean, I get a lot of
And you mean like literally
Yeah,
walking?
like
Yeah.
walk through your plant, walk
Hmm.
through your production, walk through your warehouse, walk through the day in the supply chain. And not just, I have a lot of reports. I get a lot of reports. And so I can see the information and the data. But when I spend time out on the floor and I'm in our operation, I can see, oh, when I see the container unloaded, I can see how the boxes are coming in. I can see
Mm.
optimizations and how we can reduce packaging. I see things as far as
Mm.
waste out in the production floor and how can we improve that process. And I think it's very eye-opening. Our CEO does a really good job of that. She spends a lot of time out on the floor. And, I would challenge other companies to do that in order to see, again, it's small. It doesn't have to be this overwhelming thing. And I think getting your hands or seeing it for yourself will make such a big difference. And I think that's really important.
Is there anything that comes to mind as like one change that costs almost nothing, but it makes a big impact for a business?
I mean, improving efficiency in your operation doesn't really cost you anything, right?
Right?
I mean, I think for us, we run a production facility because of the monogram and the customization piece. And I think that we've done a lot of things over time that have improved the way that we operate and our output and our quality. And it was just simple, how we set up the machines and how we make things ergonomic for the production operators. And it didn't cost us anything. It was just thinking outside the box and also listening, right? Listening to your team and getting
Mm.
feedback from them as far as what's working, what's not working, and how to make them more comfortable so that they are more efficient. Typically, in our facility, for sure, the people that are doing the jobs have the best ideas on how to make the job better. And that doesn't cost you anything, it's just listening.
Yeah, that's great. All right, finish this sentence. The companies that will win the future are the ones that,
I think the companies that will win the future are going to continue to be innovative and they're going to be looking for ways and opportunities to, improve supply chain and reduce footprint. And I think those companies are the ones that are going to win.